Hello and welcome to the stream, everyone. This is my first time commentating for this league. It looks very, very nice, and I'm glad to be here. Welcome to the Division 2 Japanese Grand Prix. Now, let me do these random intros I prepared like 30 minutes before the event. Alright. That's the wrong. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay. Welcome to Suzuka Circuit, this iconic track in Japan. Turns 1 and 2 seem very nice for overtaking at the end of the DRS zone. Turns 3 through 7, also single file, the iconic S sections, 8 and 9, double right-hander corner, really difficult sometimes to get right if you don't want to invalidate your laps. 10, 11, try not to touch the grass, try not to crash, try to keep it nice and tidy. Turns 12, 13, and 14, then the iconic spoon curve. Got to keep that one nice and tidy too. Turns 16 to 18, as well as 15, 130R, are extremely tricky as well. Let's do an overview of this lap ourselves. With the Alpine car in time trial, this one with the DRS down to turn 1, iconic circuit to master, and of course very interesting. Turns 1 and 2 got the game automatically close, and this one will be a thriller, or I hope it is a thriller, because, well, racing sometimes can be a little questionable here, but in the end, it could all go. I'll just replay this while the time passes. And we have live timing for this one, so I can. So we can just do a little bit of waffling while we wait for the lobby to start and to get straight into qualifying. 18 minutes of pure action and some raw speed around this circuit. A bit more in depth. In a more in depth manner, of course. Okay, now it's just not playing. Oh, there we go. There we go. Anyways, Jamaica Jam currently leads the standings by a fine margin. I'll talk about the standings as well real quick. Jamaican Jam leads the championship by 27 points. He's got a whole race in it above everyone else. So he is clear in front of this field. Will he be able to continue his streak? Actually, I have no idea if it is a streak. Let's see. No, it's not a streak. But the only other person to win a race is Baziel. I think I pronounced that right. Doesn't look like he's in the lobby right now. So, might have a bit of an issue with that. Currently in top in standings, Alpine, of course, by 24 points over Racing Bulls, VCarb. Who can pull this one out? Who can take the win around such an iconic circuit? We'll be seeing that soon in about a couple minutes' time, about one over the start time. So it is gonna be there in just a moment, but I think I can add in some extra graphics from SimHub because I have time to do that, and I hope it doesn't crash my game. And I'm looking at the lap time. Someone said a 126 in TT. That's 2 seconds faster than that lap we just watched. So, what? Okay. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. And we're just waiting to get one more person in here. And SimHub is loading. SimHub's loading. Okay, we're gonna get some nice things here. Let's play some music. Let's go back to the stream. Stay inside, actually. have something on here. Hey, that time was faster than some people. My lap time there. I beat them. Oh, and the session's starting in just a moment now. Interesting stuff. Okay. Open it. Let's get this open, please. Another application is conflicting. Screw you. Screw you, screw you, screw you. Oh, this guy didn't set a 126. Oh, that's boring. Don't lie to us, bro. Lying's not cool. Hey, we have this open. Very, very nice. Actually, should probably have to close it now. Nice sim hub stuff. Interesting, interesting. Let me open up the remote control real quick. Window. 126 in the rain when I feel like it. This guy's lying. Jeez. It's taking a bit. Well, you know what? This isn't really working out too well. Can't really get this open. Oh man. I guess we're not gonna get that. No sim hub for this one. No realistic things like I wanted to have. So we shall say good luck to these drivers and hope that they can get this one nice and right. Let's hope for some clear weather, cloudy skies. Actually, no, let's hope for some good conditions for making a good race. And we're on. You know, things is F123. I don't know why it says that. We don't really want that. Uh, let's check some audio levels real quick. Let's check some audio levels real quick. Okay, that works. Um, I might actually take a session out of qualifying to probably get water. I usually forget to grab water and I end up suffocating myself, not gonna lie. It's also unplug my wheels so I don't have force feedback going on. And now I need to grab my controller, everything's going. Go to stream, thank you. Alright, come on. Multiplayer event, short qualify. And I actually got the live timing up for this one, and am I stuck on this? Okay, no, I'm not. Let's make sure the live timing's all working as well. There we go. We are in with a 19 card grid. Oh, I like this downhill kind of pit lane. It's interesting, interesting. Season 16. Jeez. I actually didn't know what season it was. I thought it was like season 5 or something. I didn't do really much research before this. That I probably should have been doing. Ooh, and we already have a Red Bull on track. Oh, everyone's out there. Whoa. Alright, my bad. Let's look at the first driver. When I commentate, I always make the first driver is the one to get the screen time. So we'll do it like that. Well, it is Jelly Melee who's the reigning world champion, I guess, so I'll keep an eye out for that. And this is a bit of a boring part of qualifying, you know. You're just waiting for things to happen as he just gets a little bit of tire warm-up in there. On that, and we have nearly half almost the entire grid out on track at this moment. Getting ready to go out for a lap. It is Kick Sauber, the only team missing a driver in this one. So, who will take pole position as through 130 yard turns 15 we go. Through the final chicane, trying to get that good exit, and here he goes. Sorry, I think she put it on hot lap. Oh, no, he puts it in the overtake. Very nice down this front straight with the DRS wide open. The single DRS overtaking zone on the track. And he keeps it nice and tidy, getting as close to the grass as he could. Getting through this first sector, very technical corners. Keeping it nice and tidy, just a slight lift off, and then right on the throttle and up the hill through turn 7. Into the fast right-handers of turns 8 and 9. Keeping it nice and flat out planted on the tarmac with that Red Bull car. The same place that Kvyat flipped his Red Bull, but he's not going to do that this time. He's over that. And we have a halo as well. As down through turns 12 and into 13 and 14. Spoon curve. The double corner. And ooh, nice and tidy, not invalidating on that exit, which is pretty easy to do. Starting to run out of ERS, is he? Using a lot of it, under 10%, not ideal. He's gonna have not the same straight line speed as the others do, as he's lost that fastest second sector to the McLaren. I believe that is ADS. And to the line we go. Deploy used, and is a 128.8. Yes, it was ADS, who is that McLaren, and he goes 6/10 slower off of that. Flicks can set 4/10 slower in the Williams right there. Listy can go P4, 1.8 seconds off that time with Wooly right behind that. Bram setting P4 on these banker laps. We have the Hasselfeld flanker going P3. And we see some next people. Shy goes P6. Apparaptor goes P1 provisionally with a 128.4 on his banker lap. We've got Denzi going 9th. And Lord TV 5th place. Now looking for the reigning world champion, Gel Mel, who is going to come across the line here with Penguin. And he can only go P10. And Penguin's 7.6 seconds off. That was definitely not prime lap that he set there. Definitely probably backed out of that one. And P11 for Goldoni, if I pronounce that right. And Jamaican Jam comes to start his lap in the Alpine through the first corner. And keeping it nice and tidy here, not getting any slides in it, planted on the ground with the ground effect cars. Last year with ground effect in F1, by the way. Am I getting my phone here? Hulk Hogan is dead. Okay. Interesting. Wasn't expecting that news. Anyways, into turns 10 and 11. That wasn't a joke, by the way. I'm actually surprised that. And through into Spoon Curve goes Jamaican Jam. I remember Jamaican Jam smooth, like spreading jam on a piece of bread on peanut butter and jelly that I had earlier. And I remember he showed up in a different league that I race in. He showed up for one race, he won it, and he left. Oh, well, he didn't leave, he just never showed up again. But hard braking zone, locking up a little bit, but and through the final two corners, 16 and 17, and the turn 18. This barely a corner, but up to the line, and he goes P3, 6/10 off the first place guy of Apparaptor. As we see, Monty Marlborough just started a lap. No, they don't. Oh, no, they disappeared. Oh, they got P2. Interesting. Very nice for the B-Carb driver to go to P2 spot, 3/10 behind Apparaptor, who looks to be on top of the banker laps as of now. And if this person went faster, I could see how much time is left in qualifying if he adds come across the line to a P4 spot with 636 thousandths off. And 10 minutes to go in qualifying. A little over 10 minutes to go. A little less than 11 minutes to go, actually. And El Flanker here, coming out for a second run in the Haas cars. It's Watson going for his banker lap right now, halfway through qualifying. Burning through turn 7. That's something I've seen before. And keeping it nice and tight, getting on the curb, not getting banked up on that corner right there. And now down the curve, keeping it nice and tidy, throwing it in confidently, and getting nicely out there. He's gonna get a nice slipstream here, actually, if he uses it. It's actually from his teammate. They're doing teamwork here. Hey! Haas teamwork, fastest second sector for Watson, and the Haas teamwork. They give each other a slipstream. That was a long slipstream. That definitely helped Watson there. And we'll see where he can go with that. Was it worth it? Through the final corner. And he goes P4, 4/10 off. That was definitely worth it, as he hits the fastest third sector. And what a slipstream. What teamwork from the Haas boys to get that number 15 car, or I think it's number 12 car, or 72 car into P4. A nice qualifying position for him, as Lou Taylor can go P11, coming out right behind the Aston Martin. As we see a Ferrari just coming around now, it's Gel Mal. And actually Brams, who has just started a lap. So these Ferrari boys are going out in the same order here. Gel Mal, the reigning world champion. Let's take a look on board with the HP Ferrari driver. I hate this livery, but I love Ferrari. And that was keeping it nice and tidy there. If you want a world championship, I think you've got the experience. So let's see what he can do with 8 minutes left to go in qualifying. Throwing it in 6/10 up or 7/10 up for the Ferrari driver. How's Brams doing? You can look over there. Maybe if one of them invalidates, they're gonna give each other a bit of a slipstream. Who knows? As you see the Mercedes getting out of the way of the two Ferraris. A little bit of a slipstream, not much. Probably won't even gain anything. Maybe like 1,000th of a second for that. The Haster plan, yeah, definitely. Very nice flanker. That was a good slipstream, actually. I've seen better. No, I haven't seen better. I haven't seen better than that. As we see Brams 6/10 up on his lap. Haas teamwork coming into play in this qualifying session. Maybe he'll give him in the final runs. Maybe he'll go back and give the other one a go. Who knows? As up to the line, deploy youth for Brams, and he goes P2! 3/10 off. As you see, Chelmel only go P10, the reigning world champion. 6/10 off the fastest time. This is a pretty close field through this midfield. It is separated by 1/10 from 7th down to 10th. Very nice for this leaving my first impression of it, I would say this is impressive. FC Jamaica team starting a lap just now. And we see a Red Bull coming around. Was that Willie? Yes, it was. Just starting a lap there as we see Pat, because that flicks, go to P5, impressive. 4 tenths off the fastest time on his fourth lap of the day. What's the Plain City Skylines, bro? What is going on here? Seems like Steph is on a lap. I think he's backed off of it, actually. Most likely. As we see Denzi come across the line on... No, there's Aston in the pits, actually. There's Gerald Donny. We'll look at that Aston Martin here as well. Burning a little bit down that back straight. This long straight, separated by 130 yards, 10th down on the second sector. Not the best lap for him. He might pull into the pits after this one. Locking up, yeah, deploy use. I would pull into the pits right now. And that is not what they do. They are on deploy use, and they still go, and you're not going to gain anything out of this. A 10th down. Jumbo pulls into the pit lane. You see Lou Taylor, who started a lap. Actually, I think I just finished one. Might want to turn your mic up. I have... There you go. There's a little bit of an issue with that. It could clip. There could be a little bit of clipping. I can turn down the cars just a little bit, but there is a little bit of clipping when I turn my mic up, like in an excited moment in a race or something. So, and you don't really want that, so... Well, the mic is a little bit turned down just to avoid that, but... You can definitely hear the mic quality get worse and worse over a race. Anyways, Jamaican Jam still currently P2. 1/10 off. I think we just went P2. 1/10 off, impressive lap before Jamaican Jam. Monty Marlboro. Not on a lap. That's definitely not on a lap. Oh, Aberraptor goes a little bit quicker on their lap with a 1:27.9. First driver into the 1:27s in this race. What a lap for Aberraptor. Being that's just romantic. And Aberraptor goes in P1 once more. Already P1 can step it up a notch. Kick Sauber, the reigning Constructors Championship. The reigning Constructors Champions. Currently putting it up a notch. And... Oh, we'll see another Haas coming through. It's Watson. Oh, they're going to do another Haster plane here, aren't they? Down the same straight, most likely. Into turn 11. Nice and tidy. For Watson. Burning. Through what is turn 12, more just another straight, not going to lie. As the kick Sauber is going to get out of the way. And into Spoon Curve, nice and tidy for Watson. And holding it through. Flankers on an out lap, so they're going to do another bit of a Haster plan here, aren't they? Once again, holding it. He's 3/10 up on his lap. As they hold it, they get out of the way, and he goes through the final chicane. What can it be for Watson running P8 at the moment, 4/10 up on his time? It's gonna be P2 with a 1:28.4 for Watson. 4/10 off the time. And you know what? I would have kept going and given Flanker, your teammate, toe on the same straight. But I guess they're not gonna do that. Or he's forgotten, and now he's gonna cut the whole corners to get there. But you can't really do that around Suzuka, can you? Anyways, Flanker on in his Haas, going through a little bit down, and he really cuts that, but he keeps it within the track limits. So not gonna lie, pretty nice for the line into that corner. As through turn 11 we go, a little bit of slide out of it. Not ideal for your lap time, but now in the turns 12 and towards the spoon curve. Here comes the Haas driver. And in the spoon curve, keeping it pretty tidy there. Everyone's coming out for their out laps as the final laps come through. And ooh, that was very slidey coming out of the final corner. Or not the final corner, turns 14 as the spoon curve, but he's 10th off on his time. How much is that going to do him? That's going to bring him into the top 10 most likely if he can hold it through this corner here. Is Apparaptor. Ego retire, ego retire. Oh, as he's used all of his deployment. Oh, not ideal. Hitting the barrier in qualifying and hitting practice, trying to pull into the pit lane at the end of it. And it didn't work. And he'll come across the line here. Unfortunate stuff for L Flanker, not able to finish that lap time. We'll be starting P14 if others aren't able to improve over him. Or under him. Whoa! As that is Penguin in the barriers and losing the end plate. And that is it for their qualifying as well. Bit of chaos at the end of this qualifying, isn't it? Isn't there? As you see Monty Marbo come across the line to start his lap time. Actually, we'll see Brams, who's currently at the head of the field of drivers who are currently pushing it. The top two are not going anything more. They're not going to be doing anything else. So they're vulnerable if these guys. Brams goes 1/10 faster. He is up on his time as ADS goes P2 with a 2 seconds off at the time. Beats Watson in the end. Steph is able to go P5. Qualifying is over. Laps are done. And I believe those two are just starting their lap times now. We're going to see Brams coming out, going into Spoon Curve now. We're actually going to see Lord TV, who's on his final lap time. This is it for Lord TV. He's going to only stay P10. Unfortunate stuff in the final dying stages of qualifying. Brams is fastest in the second sector. Could this be pole positioning? Not up enough as on the Delta, as you see in the top right. Can this be a top 5 starting position for Brams? Out of deployment, up to the line. What's it going to be? It's going to be P6 in the end. Monty Marlboro. Can they do it all? They're going to pull in the pit lane. Oh no, Flicks up to the line. Still only P9. Lou Taylor only P13. Patty goes on a P4 with a 5/10 off the lead. Jamaican champ finishes off P5. That's all he can do. Gerald Dens can only go P15 in the end. Mel's qualifying is not over yet. He's still going. The reigning world champion, 5/10 up on their time. Currently running P12. What's it going to be in Japan? In qualifying to pull Hughes to the line, it's P4. Mel able to take down Patty's time and goes into the top 5. Nicely done for the reigning world champion. And Steph is done with their qualifying. Please don't pull in the pit lane. Please don't pull in the pit lane. Please don't pull in the pit lane. Oh, screw you. And that'll be it for qualifying. Apparaptor is going to start on pole position ahead of ADS and Watson. Great stuff for Apparaptor. Didn't have to put in a final lap time after that final lap. And a brilliant qualifying session in the end. As we're going to see my controller keeps vibrating. The first pole position of the season for Apparaptor. Currently running P19 in the standings with 0 points. Great stuff for Apparaptor in the end to take a first pole position of the season in what is round 4. Kicksauber take pole position ahead of ADS and the McLaren, and Watson gets P3 after getting a nice master plan of a slipstream. Mel and Patty round up the top 5. Jamaican Jam starts P6, Steph P7, Brams P8, Monty Marlboro, P9. P10 goes to Flex. P11, Lord TV. Shy goes P12. Lou Taylor, P13. P14 to L Flanker. Denzi gets P15. Willie, Girldoni, Listy, and Penguin round off the field. And an amazing qualifying session as we wait for this race. Was the live timing working? Yes, it was. Let's go. Anyways, we're about to get this race underway. Let's look back at this one real quick. The championship leader will be starting P6 in this one. Not too much pressure for this race. He has plenty of a lead. And you know what? Big news. That's the lap record smashed for Apparaptor. The lap record, according to the post in Division 2, where it says the lap record by Lucas is a 128.6. Well, that's no more. That is no more. Oh, actually, no, never mind. Last season, Mel got it. Never mind. Okay. Calm down. I'm sorry, Apparaptor. Mel, I think, has the thing. Anyways, Jamaica Jam has his hand currently in the championship lead, but who can catch up? We are underway in Japan. Apparaptor gets a good start. ADS does not. Watson Jamel already up to P2 from his P4 spot on the inside into turn 1. Watson goes around the outside and takes that P2 spot back. Apparaptor has a clear lead out in front. There's a McLaren going wide. That's ADS. So started P2 dropping down the order quickly as they go single file through the first corners here. And Flanker was able to get up to P14. And Jamaican Jam is in P4 from that P6 spot, but getting followed closely by Brams. Apparaptor leads ahead of Watson, ahead of Mel. That is your top three at the end of the first sector. No safety guard, no collisions, no crashes off of that first corner as we have a wing going off, flying for the Aston Martin of Denzi, who tries to look down the inside of the Red Bull. Who gets it all wrong there. That's going to leave an opening for Steph as they're side by side with the V-card behind. What a start in this race. I'm raising stuff out of this as down the spoon curve we go. Apparaptor already has a second lead over Watson. Shy gets past 10Z, who are going side by side in the spoon curve. He kind of pushes them off. Side by side, there's Alpine going wide in the background. This is brave stuff for Shy to go around the outside in the spoon curve. ADS, who started P2, is going on the outside into 130R. Side by side here as he goes tight into there on the inside looking for it. ADS looking on the inside of Shy, and we're going to get to starting the second lap of this race. And it's a clear lead for the top two here as Mel behind, fighting for it as ADS gets past Den Z. As they're side by side for L Flanker and the Alpine there. And side by side into turns 1 and 2. They keep it clean for that one. As Apparaptor pulls out a second behind. As they're fighting here, and there's contact, and Monty Marlboro is missing his front wing. Unfortunate stuff for the V-Carb as he loses out the front wing. There, as actually there's more carnage over here as there's cars going slow towards the back here as they're side by side. Four into this corner, you want to back out of that one, definitely. Oh, what a switchback as Denzi goes into the gravel. Penguin up to that. Penguin up to that. Ooh, nearly contact as Penguin gets loose right behind them. And unfortunate stuff for Monty Marlboro, who has to go the whole lap with that broken front wing as the Mercedes of Lou Taylor also took to the pit lane at the end of the first corner. Whoa, contact, I think, right back here as Girldoni gets spun around, sort of, and drops down behind Monty Marlboro in P18. Unfortunate stuff on the first lap for Girldoni. Let's open up the tires as we see what we've got here from that first lap of carnage. We got some drivers on the soft, some on the hard. Some know better than others. And with these cloudy conditions, will there be any rain as the DRS wide open down this straight? As we see side by side for the ADS and Shy. ADS started P2, has dropped all the way down to P8, and he P9, and he gets back into P8. A nice move on the inside into turn 1 for the McLaren driver, trying to pull himself and reel himself back up after that disaster of his start. Watson did hold himself into DRS and got DRS on the front straight off of lap 2, but he's dropped out of it after this one. Unfortunately for him. Looks like After could be able to pull away as Shy gets back on ADS. Out of the S turns into turns 8 and 10. 8 and 9. Very nicely done as we have contact behind. And that is the Red Bull of Willie dropping down the order after making contact with, I believe, Listy. Maybe penalties going out after this one as Watson gains back into the 10 seconds. Into the 1 second gap ahead of Epper. These guys have pulled out 3 seconds to the Ferrari behind, and Jamaica Jam, the championship leader, currently trying to make his mark back and retain his championship lead. He's got a clear lead. No one can beat him in this race, but as we have yellow flags right below this tunnel over here for the Aston Martin of Kirodoni, or no, of Denzi. As we have a nice train here forming. That has formed, and it is very nice. John Mel, the reigning champion, versus the current championship leader. Who's going to win this out into turn 1? It's going to be Jamaican Jam with the DRS, who's going to pull as the Ferrari has to back out of his on his teammate. I wouldn't want to go side by side with my teammate either, would I? And ADS gets right past back Shy at a nice move there in the turn 1, but Shy is going to fight this one back, and it's just going to have to be a back out there. And does Shy maybe have a different downforce package? Maybe? I don't know. Anyways, the Ferraris here battling it out with Jamaican Gem and Patty right behind them. This one definitely gonna go down a bit as Jamel on the soft tires. Has a bit of a pace advantage in these first few laps, but nothing doing so far. Just get past on the DRS. Ooh, getting a little bit slidey out of the corner. Unfortunately, as we see Giraldoni going slow down the pit straight. Interesting tactics. For tire saving or fuel saving, maybe? Going just like completely slow and causing yellow flags in the final corner, maybe. Anyways. Maybe turn on a bit of assist there. Stop spinning. Anyways, Brams, are they doing a bit of a swap around? Yes, they are. They've dropped a second out of making Jam and Jill. Patty going through and down the inside into the final corners. Into the chicane side by side for the V-carb and the Ferrari making contact, wheel banging just a little bit. As Patty gets up in the P5, the swap for Ferrari did not work, and now he's got the DRS to get right back past the Ferrari. And down to turn 1, the Ferraris have both dropped down a position. Gelmel gone from P3 to P6 in 2 laps. As maybe Patty can try and gain up with this. Has their plan not worked at Ferrari? They're probably in VCs together, considering that Haas was doing considering they did a swap, and Haas earlier was doing a bit of a slipstream situation, and those top 2 in the front with dirty air tire wear can go through the roof at this track, probably, considering all these twists and turns as Brams goes off the track and in the gravel, and Gelmel's gonna get past. So is ADS. And Monty Marvel says the fast lap of the race, but ADS and Brams drops down to P8 in the Ferrari after being P5 just in a moment ago. Unfortunate stuff for the Ferrari, losing traction and getting wide. As Will Flanker making contact with the Williams side by side into Spoon Curve into turn 12. Very, very brave around the outside into Spoon Curve, side by side, and Shy loses out to the final points position. Unfortunately, a little bit of traction loss off of that corner there. And you see Lou Taylor getting past the Aston Martin of Den Z. Sorry, like 20 seconds, 30 seconds behind the race leader. 20 seconds off of the main field. And we're going to see Patty slowly closing in on the championship leader, Jamaican Jam. As Watson and Alexander make contact side by side into turn 2. And they make contact for the lead of this race. Were they fighting? And did they touch? Is there any damage on the drivers? Jamaican Jam gains up a second to them. But huge moment in this race for the leaders who make contact at turn 2. And Watson drops out of It doesn't look like he's got any damage, but he drops out of the 1 second, and they both were going wide at turn 2. Carnage between the two race leaders trying to fight this one out, and it didn't work for Watson, and they made contact with each other, and both went nearly spinning round. And it was good we caught up to that then, because that was incredible. Incredible catch there. I noticed they were moving, and I switched up them. I wasn't expecting I don't think anyone was expecting to see them both off the track and sideways. As we see, step within a second, Patty closing in on the championship leader, Jamaica Jam. As Giraldoni spins once again, still struggling. Giraldoni, unfortunately for him, in the Aston Martin, not having a good race as it stands. 5 laps done so far. Another 6 laps done. Another 20 to go. Another 21 to go. And this race has heated up like we did not expect. Lou Taylor gets one of the first 3 seconds of this race. So Flanker gets past Shine. No, they don't. They have to back out of it. Going into turns 2 and 3 on the Williams. Unfortunate stuff to have to back out. Almost got that right there. And it could have been an improvement in position, but it wasn't to be, unfortunately. As into turns 8 and 9 we go. Whoa, Bram Muffin into the gravel again, getting banked up on the curb. Here comes Lord TV to take P8. And it's just going wrong for the Ferrari driver in these laps. He keeps messing up in that corner, and it's costing him dearly. As ADS and Steph do a position swap here. ADS, who started P2, has dropped down all the way down to like P14 off of the first lap, and is dropping off and is able to climb his way back into the P6 spot. Patty drops back a little bit further from Jamaican Jam, as Watson is within the DRS once again. Whoa! Abraptor loses it out of the final chicane. Now Watson's got DRS. This is a chance to really take the race lead with the DRS down the inside, or on the inside for turn 1, but he's clear ahead is the 72 Haas of Watson, who started P2, or started P3, and is going to take back the lead, and is going to take the lead of this race on lap 8. Good racing as we see Flicks to be the first driver to take to a real pit stop in this one on the soft tires. Soft tires are probably starting to struggle from the soft to the, what is that, medium tires. And we saw after just try to make it again, but wasn't able to get it done. And what are we going to see here? Down the inside? Nah, not close enough. But definitely looking for it. That mistake costly for Raptor coming out of the final corner, turn 17. And that chicane is crucial for that straight. It's a short DRS zone. It's not very easy to pass. But if you can be close enough, or if the other makes a mistake enough, and burning ERS, trying to stay within close distance to maybe get that one back, I would put it in none at this point. Yeah, there we go, as they both put it in none to save a bit of ERS. But they're both on reduced, and AppRaptor can't gain anything more. Oh, and he loses just a little bit out of the thing, and I think Watson's going to be able to hold on just for another lap there. As we see Willie spinning round out of Spoon Curve, as we see Gel Mel pulls into the pit lane to put on a new set of probably medium tires. Ooh, and we see Shell. I thought they were going to go side by side for a second. Oh, man. I wanted some racing action. And Steph is really close to ADS, but not as close as AppRaptor is to Watson, and that race lead, he wants it back. He started on pole, and he really wants to take this back. He's trying to struggle a little bit, though. He's trying to lose it. He's feeling the pressure of trying to take back the lead of a race, and it just isn't going right. In these past few laps, John Mill did go to a new set of medium tires on lap 9. And Watson just burning a little bit in order to pull away just enough from Apparaptor, who has... They have the same amount of VRS mostly. And Jamaican Jam is probably probably saying, I want to get back in this fight as well. And it's probably starting to push a little more, trying to gain up. But you don't want to kill your tires too much at this stage. And you know what, I definitely wonder if there's any rain, considering these cloudy conditions. As a little sideways for Watson out of the final corner. And Apparaptor is just closing in, but not close enough. As Patty pulls into the pit lane. ADS actually has a penalty for probably track limits. I would assume. Yeah, it is for track limits. Unfortunate there, he's going to have to hope that others can get the same penalty, or he can pull out 3 seconds towards the end of the race. And now Flanker also pulls into the pits later on, and... Oh, those are just so fast corners. Loving it at this iconic, and fast circuit. Jamaican has dropped back 3/10 from Apparaptor, so he hasn't made any gains on these fighting groups so far for the lead of this race. And it's definitely settled way down. People have organized into their own trains here and have shown up to... Everyone's shown up to win, but sometimes you can only be 20 seconds off the guy in second to last. So... Apparaptor down the back straight, not doing really any burning, but he's put it on hot lap while Watson puts it in none. I mean, we could get a position swap maybe here in just about a moment. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have a position swap under DRS. But nope, Apparaptor's gonna pull in the pit lane. Ooh, break. Oh, he got it in. He got it in. No penalty there. Which is very nice for Apparaptor. You wouldn't want that. And sometimes you can get that, seeing that can happen. I feel like it just happened earlier, I think. But a lot of people pulling the pit lane. A lot of people. Jamaican Jam as well, following them in. I think Watson's going to go maybe another lap longer. You know what? I could pull up some other. I could try to. As... Oh no! ADS spinning rounds out of turn 2. No damage, but he definitely dropped it there. And so unfortunate. Running pretty far up that field. In what it was, net P6 or P5, I think. And oh man. That's harsh. But racing is only for those who can stay on the track, of course. And we're going to see if Watson pulls into the pits at the end of this lap to cover off Apparaptor. Actually, let's put this to leader. Let's see. Apparaptor is gaining. Apparaptor could be on the undercut here. Who's going to be in the lead of this race at the end of this one? We're looking. We're keeping our eye on that gap to... from Apparaptor in this leader group, or in the leader timings. Is Watson going to pull into the pits at the end of this lap? Yes, he is. He is going to be in the pit lane. And break. He gets in it on time. Steph stays out another lap on the hard tires. But now this is crucial. This is for the lead of the race. It's a good pit stop for Haas. But is it going to translate to coming out still in the lead? Here comes Apparaptor down the pit straight. He is going to get the lead of the race, and by a fine margin indeed. Actually, I thought Jamaican Jam got him. I was about to go. Oof. But no, that's a 2-second gap back to Jamaican Jam, and it's a 2-second gap between drivers. Apparaptor got the... Watson did not get the in-lap that he needed, and Apparaptor got the outlap of his life. Right there. See, Jamaican Jam caught up with Patty right behind him on who's also on a new set of mediums. So he's on a bit of a better tire compound as it stands, but those tires will wear out a bit more, and also he's on a different strategy. And he pit lap earlier. as Giordoni gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. You gotta stay on the track. It's not a hard track. Giordoni has retired from the session in the pit lane. Fair enough. I would also retire if I was 30 seconds off the guy in second to last. As we see Patty down this straight is actually Watson is gaining on Apparaptor, but he doesn't want to kill his tires a little too early. But oh, here comes Patty! Oh, just a little tap on the rear end of Jamaica Jam's Alpine as Shy gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Unfortunate for the Williams driver, but it's Patty who's going to take P5, and that is the net P3 actually. Net P3 for him as actually Giordoni, the AI there, is just going to have to get out the way. He does get out the way. There's no ghosting, I don't think. So, well, there was ghosting earlier, so there's ghosting, but Monty Marlowe is going to get a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, which is really unfortunate. As, yeah, those are your penalties there. Well, the race, this race has been a bit chaotic at times, but it's mostly been calm for now. It doesn't look like there'll be any rain in this one. I saw in the Tier 1 race, and the Division 1 race, that there was a rain. Pretty heavy. Excuse me. And now, Watson versus Apparaptor. Part 2. After the pit stops, they're closing back in. Watson, third in the standings, will be ahead of Monty Marlborough as it stands. As there is the McLaren of ADS who kind of dropped it, maybe. And it'll help them out a little bit, but not for much longer. As they've gone right past them. This track is one of the newly LiDAR scanning ones as well. So this one, completely new from last game. Completely new for some drivers. It's the same track, but of course different scenery to get used to. It's easy to get used to, obviously, but bit of waffling has to go on, my bad. And this battle for the lead just getting ever closer. Right before the first pit stops, it was the heck? It was Watson who led. It was Apparaptor who got the undercut by 1 lap and was 2 seconds ahead. But now it's Watson who's on the better tires by 1 lap and who's on for... Oh, and he's dropped out of the 1 second. He made a mistake. Watson made a mistake and he's dropped out of the 1 seconds, 1.5 seconds now. He's going to burn, trying to catch back up into it. Kind of trying to catch back up in that 1 second. Is it going to be enough? Is it going to be enough? Yes, it will. Lucky, lucky boy. Actually, I thought that was a lapped car, but it isn't. ADS is actually P4. And Steph has continued on. ADS will continue on as well. The hard tires at the front of the field. Are they waiting for a safety car? They definitely are waiting for a safety car, but... Laptop took a lot more curb than Watson did there. Watson gained a little bit from it. And this is really the only gap so far that is within a reasonable amount, as these two are actually closing in on these two. No, they're not actually closing in. My bad. But whoa, around the outside goes Lou Taylor in a nice move, but now it's going to be the DRS here and right past as we see Patty get past ADS, who's on those old hard tires, probably starting to struggle a little bit. And now it is Watson closing in on Apparaptor, chasing him down as Jamaican Jam gets past ADS as well on his charge to get past Patty, the championship leader, by 27 points. Currently running P5. And it is Watson who, this is the net race lead, battle for the net race lead, right here in front of our eyes. As Steph pits, so it's going to be the race lead. I believe ADS is going to pit as well after that one. As Watson, DRS wide open, and down the pit straight to try and close in on Raptor and get a move in. Get a move on. Maybe pull away after that. Jamaica Jam now running P4, the championship leader in Division 2. Now let's take a recap of this race. Watson did take the lead on around lap 6, lost it in the pit window. There was contact between the race leaders at one point in turns 1 and 2. Bit of contact on lap 2, Monty Marbo losing the entirety of their front wing in the V car, which is so been a hard race for them, hoping for a safety car on their side. As Lou Taylor gets past Penguin. Or no, Listy gets past Penguin. Who just gets it a little bit wrong and not going to gain anything out of that. Are you? And still, Raptor holding himself ahead. The pole sitter ahead of the P2 man, of the P3 man in qualifying. ADS was the P2 man, now running P12 at the moment. From their strategy and horrid race start for them. As we see Watson, he's going to get the DRS here, but he's not really close enough to make any moves, obviously, down this short straight. He is burning. You know, he could close in. No, Raptor goes defensive very late, and Jamaican Jam now is going to go trying down the inside of Patty, but not able to get that one done. And Watson is deathly close to Raptor, really piling the pressure on. Raptor had to go defensive there, and it really shows what pressure can do to you if they start making mistakes later on. The pole sitter currently holding on to this lead masterfully with about 11 laps to go in this race. We are way over a decent bit over the halfway point of this one. And it's the battle for the lead. These two within DRS distance. And we have the DRS train behind as Willie gets 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. And it's gonna just get ever so more action-packed as we go on with this one. As actually Watson has closed in a lot more on the leader of Raptor. He is within 5/10. This is going to be a bit of a battle here. Actually, just going to get a little bit wiggly out of the corner. Burning, burning, burning. He was going to be in the lead by the time we get out of the turns 1 and 2. We've got lap cars ahead. They're going to be side by side in the turn 1. Around the outside. Goes the He's going to get pushed up by Raptor, and he has to go wide and off the track. And he drops back out a second, but he gains back into it. And now they're going to have to be going through lap cars. The race leaders come to blows as Jamaica Jam gets into P3. By the time those two come out of turns 1 and 2. And the race lead, the battle is on. And Watson is definitely going to be on the inside for the next time. Isn't he? As the first driver to get lapped is Denzi. And the Haas has pulled back into the DRS and is 5/10 behind. And he's definitely going to want to push himself to the inside there and hold on. As Watson within 5/10 of the race leader, Raptor, who started on pole. Raptor is probably itching to close in on Willie to get that out. Oh, when he goes a bit defensive, Watson holding on to his car through 130R and just dropping back a bit, just getting a little loose. He's at the same distance that he was just the lap before. Burning, burning, burning with the DRS. What is it going to be? Who's going to come out in the lead? By the time we get to turn 3, it's still going to be Apparaptor. Ooh, getting really close. To the back of that car is Watson. This is going to be a one-stop for these drivers, as Gelmel, the reigning world champion, pits from a different position. Whatever position he was in, I don't remember. And now Watson just drops a bit back with the dirty air and having to deal with that. And Watson just getting close and closer and just not being able to make it work. Penguin gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Not a good race for the McLaren's drivers so far. Not being able to show off the pace they had from where they qualified. ADS, who started P2, now down in P9 on strategy. Whoa, Watson! Almost losing it, burning to compensate. And he is back within 6/10. You really need to be 5/10 behind to make that amends again. Hopefully he doesn't slide out of this if he wants to pull it back up. Oh, he's 8/10 behind. It's not close enough to be able to pull back, to be able to take the lead for real. As he puts it in none and is just going to use this lap to harvest that ERS and get ever so close. As we see Patty pulls into the pit lane for a new set of soft tires. Interesting. And Lord TV goes around the outside of the Red Bull, goes almost spinning out and trying to save it, has to pull himself wide. Oh, almost half spinning there. And Steph has to take P6 after that. A bit of a scare as ADS goes down the inside of Shy. Shy's got a 10-second time penalty. I think ADS has a 3-second time penalty. And side by side, Flick sets the fast lap of the race. And ADS, and then a very nice move, gets that P7 spot in the McLaren. As Watson burning a little bit, he's got a bit excess. Apparaptor has a lot excess. And who knows who will win this race in the end. Will it be Apparaptor? Will it be Watson, who actually makes a mistake out of that corner? And now he is burning down this straight to try and compensate for any mistake, for that mistake that he made. He puts it in none. But he's not going to be close enough on this lap to really make amends. Just getting too quick on the throttle in some places and just sliding it out. And no moves on lap 21. But now Watson is closer, and hopefully he can just hold on to the dirty air in this game. It's just proving lethal for Watson's chance at winning this race. He wants to win this one. He wants to be the third driver in 4 rounds to win a race in this season. He's dropped out of the DRS, into the DRS gap, and unfortunately, Watson looks to might not be able to get it on this lap. Unless Apparaptor is able to get the DRS here, actually, from Willie. That would be devastating for Watson. As Willie, the car that's about to be lapped right behind them, right ahead of them, as it looked like Apparaptor didn't get the best of exits, and Watson is really close to the back of that Kick Sauber car. And I don't think Apparaptor got the DRS, and even if he did, how long will that last for him? On their 10-lap-old hard tires, 11 laps at this point, he didn't get the DRS, and they're 5/10 separate. Will Apparaptor be forced to go defensive? Will Watson do anything? Oh, just not able close enough in the way that turn 1-2 section is modeled. Yeah, getting in the grass a little bit, losing time, dropping out of the 1 seconds. Oh, Watson, you gotta get closer than that. And you gotta stay on the track Jamel, the reigning world champion, sets the fast lap of the race, currently running P9 while on medium tires. And this is gonna come down to who's a lap car and who's not. And you know what? All terrible for after they just get Willie at the wrong point and with the blue flags. Willie gets out of the way in his Red Bull running P17 at the moment, and it's just so unfortunate. After would really like some DRS protection to hold on at this point. I'm gonna make sure that the live timing is working just quickly. Oh, come on. It is. Oh, side by side in the 130R. Watson and Abraham. He got it. He's out of the race. Watson is out of the race out of 130R. Oh, what has happened? They made contact, and there's gonna be a safety car on a lap 22. Contact between the two race leaders, and it's Watson who comes out of the wrong side, and he's out of the race. The P3 man in the Haas. As after comes to the pits, they all come into the pits for the soft tires. And it's going to be a last sprint in the end of this one in the Div 2 race. Oh my god. Watson, who was fighting for the lead of this race, comes to contact with the race leader, and he's out. He is out of the race. I was checking see if the live timing was working. I was not expecting them to go side by side into 130R, and they did, and it went wrong. Incredibly unfortunate. Incredibly. Interesting. And this brings everyone back into play. Anyone who's got a 10-second time penalty, they can get them removed, they can catch up to the field, and it can just... And it will be... Oh, shootout and a half. Jamaica Jam, the championship leader, gets promoted to that P3 spot, and ooh, look at the sight at this under safety car. And this one, the two race leaders come to blows. Third in the championship, out of the race. Trying to go side by side through 130R never goes. Usually can go right if you're a majority ahead, but side by side directly never, ever works, especially in league races. And that is something you gotta remember. Jamaican Jam didn't have anything new. He's on a new set of hard tires. He didn't have anything else for that, and Patty's on a set of 3-lap old soft, so did he use all of his tires in qualifying? And, well, this race has gotten a lot closer than we ever thought. Will Apparaptor be able to pull away at the restart? Will it go down to whoever can fight this one out with each other? We're about to see in about a lap time. Lap or 2 laps time as L Flanker comes to the pit lane. Sad day for Haas. And we get our one and only safety car of this race right now, and it's at the end. So everyone's going to be on softs, except for those who didn't have any softs. Flick's actually going to stay on those 7-lap old mediums. So it'll just be a sprint to the end of about 2-3 laps worth. Wow. And whoever comes out up top, they would be absolutely thrilled. Well, the best battle of the race comes to an end with with absolute with a crash that has reshaped the whole model of this race. Let's take a look at the leader gap. No one is lapped anymore, of course. If anyone was, they would be unlapped, of course. If the leader chooses so, I think it might not be in the rules about that. But well, an interesting race to say the least at this point. That has turned the tide, and whoever was at fault for that one, I'm actually going to look back. No, I'm going to look back, and I'm going to see if I'm able to get a with the Alpine card. If I'm able to see who was at fault, who really did come together with the other, and the safety car is definitely going to be in this lap. Ah, interesting stuff. They came to blows early in the race, and they've come to blows again. Have the race leaders 3 times they have made contact, and third time's the charm that causes the incident that really takes them out. And looking back, it looks like they just came together in the middle. We'll see in the end of it. But oh, McLaren in the gravel loses a position under safety car, unfortunately. Going in the grass and causing himself to lose the place. Unfortunate for the guy who started in P2. So it's lap 25. We'll have lap 26 and 20. It'll be 2 laps of racing action. Well, the safety car is in this lap. And who will come out on top? We're going to have 11.6 kilometers left of racing action. 2 laps to decide this race. We are underway. Raptor gets a move on, but he hasn't gained that far away from Patty, who is burning to try. And on the outside of turn 1, looking for the race lead. He just has to back out of it. But Raptor did not get the launch that he wanted to get, as there's a bit of a gap in the midfield. Blue flags being called out as well, as Listy and Flanker side by side. Contact between these two. Flanker off the road and falling down the order as these two are falling contact again at the back of the field. And Red Bull losing out and wings going flying up in the air. Technical curve we go. And Patty has dropped out a second, as we have Monty Marbo, who's in the barrage once again and has retired from the session. And that is rightfully so, because that was the worst thing that could happen to them. Side by side for Flix and Steph into the hairpin. Not able to get it done is Steph. But absolute chaos in this midfield. Side by side in rows for these two. And side by side into turn 12 for Listy and Penguin. Side by side into the spoon curve. Who is going to win out this battle? Side by side, the two go. One in the background for Lou Taylor and El Flanker. Diabolical racing. Sanders as he loses his front wing. Flex getting past, gets passed by him. And they're side by side. Willie is out of the session after retiring on their own. ADS has to back out of that, and the DRS is enabled, and he goes spinning around in the gravel. Oh no! Side by side at the back here. Oh! And what the hell? Lou Taylor straight lines it. And what the hell? Lou Taylor straight lines it. And now Penguin is fighting out here. There's at the front. And he tries to take him out. He crashes. And he tries to take him out first. He takes out El Flanker's front wing. He is getting banned. Oh my god. And chaos at the end of this one. He tried to take out the other driver. And we have a bunch of DNFs in the final 2 laps. We're on the last lap of this race. Raptor leads by 2 seconds. And the race leader Jamaica Jam currently as they fight for the podium position. Who'll come out on the podium? Will it be Brams or will it be Jamaican Jam? Oh, they make a bit of contact on the front wing. But it's going down to the wire here. And Brams trying to make it get a move on. They're trying to get a move on. Who will win this? Who will get podium places? As there are a bit of coming together at the back here. But it will be Jamaican Jam closing in for P2. Closing in for P2. He's going to go to the outside. He is not able to get it done, but is he able to get it done on the exit? But Raptor is going to win the Jamaican Grand Prix from Paul. No, the Jamaican. Is going to win the Japanese Grand Prix. And Brams and Jamaican Jam go side by side in the final corner. And it's going to be Jamaican Jam to get P3. Raptor wins the Japanese Grand Prix in Suzuka from pole. Penguin and ADS end up swapping positions after a penalty. ADS out of the points at starting P2. What a race to behold! Congratulations to Raptor for winning. And what a race that we have seen. Raptor wins after getting pole position and leading most of the race. The Italian takes the W. Jamaican Jam, the championship leader, P3. His first win of the season, and the third driver this season to win a race. Paddy gets P2 after a hard-fought race in the V-Carb. And Jamaican Jam, that's done from P6 to go to P3. What a race. And the fast lap goes to Raptor. Most overtakes 80S, and Paddy is given cleanest driver. And there's your results. Raptor wins ahead of Paddy, ahead of Jamaican Jam, ahead of Brands, and Lord TV rounds off the top 5. Steph Jelly Melee, the reigning world champion, Shy, Flicks, Penguin, and Penguin are those who get points in this race. 1 lap down for these guys, and they actually DNF as well. And congratulations on those who even finished that race. Wow. And I have not seen chaos like that in a while. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time out next week for Division 2, and actually Division 1 will probably be streamed by Jack, I think. And have a good rest of your day, ladies and gentlemen. Crash out.